Hey crew, what's going on? So I got a question today through a new client talking about carbohydrates, and after looking over his diet, he had basically very little carbohydrates in his diet, and he'd been to a trainer before who was putting him on a ketogenic diet, which is a very low carb, high protein, high fat diet. And once I worked out his nutrition plan for him and gave it back to him, he had a lot of questions, and he was really concerned about in the carbohydrate intake that I recommended to him. Now, this has got to stop, guys. This has absolutely got to stop, because the whole carbohydrate insulin hypothesis when it comes to obesity is flawed. The low carb community, the Atkins community, a lot of the paleo community is wrong. Carbohydrates don't make you fat, guys. That's not the cause of obesity. Overeating is the cause of obesity, okay? Yes, there's a bunch of other things involved there, like hormones, and which I'm not trying to push under the rug. They're absolutely important, but at the same time, if you're eating within your calorie maintenance, chances are, providing you're going to bed on time, your hormones are going to be balanced anyway. It's when you become obese, or when you're eating more food than what you need per day, that your hormones get out of whack. And again, I'm not trying to push the hormonal health. Hey, there's some zip liners. Woo! Not trying to push the hormonal health under the rug at all. We have to take care, we have to consider that. But again, it comes down to making sure that you're eating in a caloric maintenance or a caloric deficit if you're trying to lose body fat. Carbohydrates doesn't really matter. There's a guy who did the whole Twinkie study, who ate nothing but Twinkies and candy from a vending machine, and he still lost weight because he stayed underneath his calorie maintenance or his calorie goals for the day. So that's basically what it comes down to. I don't want to say it's the only thing it comes down to, because there are other factors. Again, I've said this ad nauseum now, that your parents, okay, and the lives that they lived, the lives that your mom lived when she was carrying you, her parents, her grandparents. So genetics play a huge factor as well. But at the same time, that's out of your control. So what is in control, or in your control, is making sure that you're eating at a caloric maintenance level, getting to bed on time, and that'll balance your hormones there naturally, okay? So no need for a hormone diet either. But just to recap, the main emphasis here is that carbohydrates don't make you fat. Carbohydrates are not the cause of obesity. The whole insulin hypothesis is wrong, because it's looking at insulin as a release from carbohydrates, or any kind of food, more or less. And your insulin levels basically get spiked post-prandial, so after you've eaten a meal. And the low carb community looks at this as a bad thing, because yes, when insulin is spiked, your fat burning hormones and your fat burning processes are shut down, only for a matter of time while you've eaten and while your insulin remains elevated, while glucose is in your blood. But as soon as your glucose goes back down, your insulin goes back down, and fat burning resumes as normal. So if you look at this in terms of a 24-hour period, or even a weekly period, you're still burning fat for the majority of the time. It's just small increments during the day where your insulin level elevates and your fat burning processes stagnate or stall, and then they go back to normal. So again, the low carb community, lots of science in the last few months here coming out, really putting a nail in that coffin, which is good. But unfortunately, this is going to take a long time for this whole fear of carbohydrates making you fat. It's going to take a long time for that to kind of die. So let's help me out here and like this video, share it. Let's get this community, let's get this tribalism out of there, and really focus on creating a well-balanced diet that includes carbohydrates, that includes healthy fats, lots of protein, staying within your calorie maintenance, getting a lot of sleep, balancing your hormones, things like that. All right, guys, hope you enjoy the video, hope you enjoy the view. I'm not sure if there's any other zip liners that went by, but it's pretty cool down here. And I've been playing Pokemon, and this place is like Pokemon Haven. All right, guys, have a great day. Take care.